Well, Jane Ace has... Marge told her the reason that Neal's mother is a widow after her. Jane can find a solution. Mary Neal could get married. Jane find a husband for Neal's mother. Bungalow where we find Mr. Ace.
Well, dear, I'm
In a quarry?
Yes.
Kind of a quarry.
Well, I'm sat here with my brain trying to think of some older men that I know, and I can only think of two. And if Neal's mother doesn't like these two, then it's behind me how I can ever find somebody for her to marry so Marge and Neal can get married.
That's the quarry you're in.
Uh-huh.
It's a crusher, isn't it?
Beg pardon?
You say only two old men.
Yeah.
Well, I've aged in the past couple of weeks of excitement around here. You're not counting me, are you?
You're married. I'm talking about old men that Mrs. Williams could marry.
Oh, I see.
She's such a sweet old lady, and not so old either. I mean, she's not young.
Not old and not young.
Well, you know.
Yeah, sort of 50-50.
Yes, they're about 51 or 52. That's not so old. But look at Marge, 25, and not married. That's old.
Oh, 25 is old.
Well, it's going on old.
Oh, going on old.
The more I think of it, the older it gets. I've got to hurry, dear.
Yes, we'd better hurry.
Yeah, I've got to hurry and think of somebody for Mrs. Williams. Now, these two I thought of might not work out right.
Who are the two you thought of?
Well, first, Mr. Everett.
Mr. Everett? Jane, how can you even...
Why not? He's not married just because my brother happened to marry his daughter.
Old man Everett isn't even thinking of getting married again. He's 70 if he's a day.
70?
Yes, at least 70.
That is old, isn't it? He doesn't look it.
Well, he keeps fit. With all his money, he can afford to keep fit. I see him horseback riding in the park almost every morning on my way downtown.
Horseback riding?
Sure, he told me he's been riding every day for about 30 years.
Well, why doesn't he stop?
Stop? He says it's marvelous for him.
Well, what's it done for him? It's made an old man out of him.
Made a... Yes, it has made an old man out of him. Well, anyhow, he's out of the question. You were lucky enough to marry Johnny off to his daughter. I don't think we'd better disturb that now.
70 years old. Well, I'm in a worse quarry than ever now. That only leaves Mr. Neff.
Well, he's... Mr. Neff?
Yes, you remember Mr. Neff, the man...
The man that sued us in that real estate deal for $10,000?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, how did you come to think of him, of all people?
Well, I got to thinking about Mr. Everett and the last time I saw him, and then I remembered that the last time I saw him was when Mr. Neff sued us. Now, he's not 70 years old.
No, but he's got a blood count of about 200.
Oh, what difference does it make how rich or poor he is? I always say a wife should take the bitter with the better. When things are better...
Well, how did you happen to think of him? I didn't say anything about him, did I?
You? No.
Well, that's funny. He came into the office today.
He did?
Being real estate agents, and he said he would never beat him out of a deal.
Well, if that isn't faith...
Yeah, faith. He's got plenty of faith in me, but he's a very shrewd article. He's about the tightest man I ever ran into. Counts every penny. We haven't made the deal yet. He's not an easy customer to deal with.
Well, why didn't you tell me about him?
Oh, I never talk business with you.
But this isn't business.
Well, it is to me. It means a nice yearly income to handle Neff's real estate. The only thing is I have to fight for my rights. He's so tight when it comes to commissions.
Mr. Neff. Well, then that settles it.
Settles what? You're not thinking of mixing him up with this idea of marrying off Neal's mother.
He's just the one. Don't you see it, dear? How do you think he happened to come to see you today?
How? He remembered the trimming I gave him on that other deal, and he respects...
Well, how can you say that? It's fate. I've been thinking about him so hard he remembered us, so he came to see you. He was unconscious.
He wasn't unconscious this afternoon.
I mean, he did it without thinking. Don't you understand? Well, that sure is a load off my mind, because I've been worrying about how to call him up and invite him over here for dinner.
Invite him over here for dinner?
Yeah.
Have you been reading my mail?
Nothing came for you today, dear.
No.
Sure, that's what I've been worrying about. Now it's easy.
Don't say it's easy. I've been thinking of asking him over and entertaining him, sort of, and getting him softened up a bit so I can make a deal with him.
Well, honestly, it's just like pennies from heaven. Isn't it exciting? Now all I have to do is call up Neal's mother. When shall I have the dinner? The sooner the better, because Marge is 25, you know.
Say, that might be something of that. I wonder how the old guy would react to a thing like this. I say, I've never seen Neal's mother. What is she like?
Oh, she's the sweetest old lady. Real gray hair, almost white. I was only over there once, but she talks so soft, and she's so nice.
Yeah, does she look old?
Well, she's got white hair.
No, but I mean wrinkled and all.
Oh, no, nothing like that. Oh, well, of course, I've never seen her dressed up, but she's...
No, the part doesn't matter, that part. Just so she's an attractive old woman.
Oh, yes, she's that.
Well, we might have her over when Neff's here. That might help put this deal over for me.
And for Marge, too.
Oh, I don't think you better mention this to Marge.
Oh, of course I won't. Do you think I'm dumb?
Well, I think you'll find arguments on both sides.
Now, no arguments, dear. Just a quiet dinner, and Mr. Neff can meet her, and the first thing you know, maybe he'll take her out.
Well, I wouldn't bank too much on that. Mr. Neff isn't the taking out kind.
What do you mean?
Well, he doesn't spend money, I told you.
Oh, a tightrope, huh?
Yes, a tightrope, and there's no walking on him. You've got to handle this thing delicately.
Oh, I will. Now, don't worry. Well, when shall I have it?
The dinner?
Yeah, how about tomorrow night?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask him if he can come over. He ought to like that, a free meal.
Now, don't tell him about Mrs. Williams being here.
Of course not. Don't worry. And don't you start making those obvious remarks of yours when they do get here. And for heaven's sake, keep it from Marge. By the way, how are you going to break it to Marge that you're inviting Neal's mother over? She's going to think that's unusual.
Oh, I already thought all that. Neal works late at night on the paper, and that leaves his mother alone. So I thought I'd invite her over just because she's alone.
Yeah, that's an idea.
See how clever I am? You don't appreciate everything
yes,
I do.
I do, Jane. The only thing I insist on is that you just let this little love match you're conducting take its own course. Don't start throwing them together or hinting that he ought to take her out. Or...
Me? Well, how can you
Well, just don't, will you?
I won't. Well, when will it be?
Well, I told you I'll have to ask Neff tomorrow and find out when he can make it. You better wait and ask Mrs. Williams after I find out about Mr. Neff.
But it ought to be right away.
It will. I'm as anxious to put my deal over as you are yours.
Well, do you think it can be tomorrow night?
Well, it might. I'll call you after I've talked to old man Neff. He's coming into the office sometime in the morning.
Now, don't say old man Neff. That sounds too old.
But he's not what you'd call the rumba type. He's in his 50s.
Well, so is Mrs. Williams. They ought to be just right. Oh, wouldn't it be marvelous if it was love at first sight?
Now, there you go. Now, that's what I mean.
What?
You're rushing things.
Well, a lot of times it's love at first sight.
Listen, in the first place, Mr. Neff, among other things, is nearsighted.
Oh, that's bad.
Yes, that's bad, so don't expect too much.
Well, anyhow, it would be marvelous if they got married.
Jane, I told you not to rush things.
Well, not right away then, even later on. Then that would leave Marge and Neal to get married. He wouldn't have his mother to worry about. Oh, he's such a nice boy. Isn't it too bad he has to worry about his mother?
Well, everybody has a problem. Take my sister, for instance. She's been looking after my mother since she was 18.
A mother at 18?
No, since my sister was 18. Not my...
the way you said it, I
and
thought
it's the same way with Neal. His mother's been a widow for some years, and Neal's been her main support. You can't blame Neal for that. Working on a newspaper doesn't give him so much money. He does do some writing on the side, he says, but, well, I suppose he needs every cent he makes. He doesn't think it's fair to Marge to marry her and then have to look after his mother, too. That's what they're up against.
Well, just the same, it would be wonderful if Mr. Neff and Mrs. Williams fell in love.
Now, Jane...
Well, not at first sight, then, just any time. And they got married, then Marge and Neal could get married. That's the main thing. After all, dear, a girl's only young once in a while. If Marge keeps
Now, you
going...
remember not to say anything about this to Marge. I'm just bringing home, we'll say, a business prospect for dinner, and you thought it would be nice to invite over Neal's mother.
Well, Marge will be here for dinner, won't she?
Well, she's usually at home to dinner. She can be here. She doesn't have to know what the plot is.
Oh, no, because she gets awfully mad. You know how she is.
I know, and I hope you remember.
Oh, I will. Oh, there she is, I bet.
Not a word now, Jane.
I won't. Just a minute, Marge.
Was she working late tonight?
Yeah, she had dinner in her office. She worked so hard. That'll be another thing I'll be glad about. If she gets married, she won't...
Hush, will you?
Oh, yes, I forgot. Oh, hello, Marge.
Hello, Jane.
Are you tired?
Am I? I never never put in such a hectic day. I won't need anybody to rock me to sleep tonight.
Hello, Marge.
Hello, Ace.
She's tired, dear.
Yes, I heard her
I
say.
rushed through lunch, a sandwich in the office, rushed through dinner, another sandwich in the office.
Oh, would you like me to fix you something to eat?
No, I'm too tired to eat. I'm going to turn in early, practically right now.
What's all the business going down in your office there?
Oh, search me. The work just piles up, that's all I know.
Well, maybe you oughtn't to work anymore.
Not work anymore.
Yeah, just sit around and relax and take it easy.
That's nice work if you can get it.
Well, you can if you'll only just...
Why don't you stop heckling her, Jane? She's tired enough as it is.
Yes, I am. Do you mind if I turn in now? I want to get this grime of the day's work off my face and crawl into bed and rest these weary bones.
No, not at all. Go ahead, Marge.
Are you going to be working tomorrow night, too?
Well, I hope not, Jane.
But you're not sure?
No, I'd rather not even think about it right now. Good night, Jane. See you in the morning. Good night, Ace.
Good night.
See, that's what I mean. Look how tired she looks.
I know, Jane, but you almost gave the whole thing away.
Oh, I couldn't help it. I feel so sorry for her. Why couldn't she marry some rich millionaire?
Because Neal doesn't happen to be a rich millionaire.
Yes, isn't that a shame? You know what?
Not so loud.
If Neal's mother marries Mr. Neff, he's got a lot of money, hasn't he?
Yes, but he's not letting go of it. Nobody gets any of his money.
Well, he might be able to give Neal a big job or something.
Oh, no. That only happened to your brother when he married old man Everett's daughter. Mr. Everett is wealthy and spends his money.
Well, he's tattooed. Mrs. Williams couldn't marry Mr. Everett. He's 70 years old, you say?
Yes, he's at least 70.
Well, she's not more than 52 at the most. 52 and 70. October and February.
October and February. Yes, marked down from May and December.
But Jane thinks she really has something there in a match between Neal's mother and Mr. Neff. We'll learn more about that when next we meet the Easy Aces.